If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so today's topic will be the data models. What would be the data models and how those data models are responsible for a successful BRF plus application. Actually, these data models are also would get designed into the SAP ABAP also, ABAP programming language as well. You know, not only ABAP programming language, all the programming languages. These are the runtime values, runtime helping variables or structures or internal tables. So we can manipulate our data, we can do some calculation, and finally we get the expected output. So you can say the runtime variables, those helps us to perform some activity, to perform some mathematical calculation or some logical calculation, some authoritative calculation like that, or some computational part. And then we leave these variables as it is into the program, as it is in the application, and map our output to the final structure, and then we as per the expected output. Okay. So I had opened that slide. Yes. So disclaimer agenda. Yes. BRF plus overview. What we'll start from the data model part. Okay. Yes. These are the basically the runtime variables or runtime structures which helps us to define, to execute, and to get the expected output. Now let's understand into the simple programming language, simple language as a layman language. Okay. So remember that yesterday we had discussed variable structure and internal table, correct?
Yes.
So variable structure let's say Purner. Purner, ename, AUART or ERDAT. What was the document type? Let me open the GUI.
Okay.
Like personal area, Persa works, yes. Or we can say that employee group, PERSG. So this will become a, let me complete, then we'll start. Now, variable, it would be a single value.
Okay.
If I need to declare one variable into SAP ABAP, then the syntax would be data LV underscore Purner type. And what would be the Purner for the personal number? I will go here and check PERSNO.
Okay.
So this would be my data declaration.
Okay. And are you sharing something? I just see the module to PDF document.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Uh, let me share my complete screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can you see the Excel file now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I was preparing this Excel.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm just declaring, let's say declare a single variable into ABAP programming language.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the syntax. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is
Okay.
a complete single variable that I am declaring. Now let's say, let's take an example. I have to fetch only partner, or I'll say ename. Ename would be okay. LV ename. I want to fetch the name of the employee based on the employee ID. So if I go here, so what would be my select query? Select
Mm-hmm.
ename from PA0001 into LV underscore ename, where partner is equal to, I'll provide some variable or some my input variable LV underscore, or I will put it as hard coded
Mm-hmm.
like 001.
Mm-hmm.
Now my end result would be LV underscore ename. Now if I have to work, I have to fetch multiple fields
Mm-hmm.
of single data. Now what will I do? The declaration would be data WA underscore PA0001 type PA0001.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we are declaring the structure.
Okay.
This is a particular
So
one field.
that is variable. This is structure.
This is structure.
Okay.
Now I need to fetch the data.
Mm-hmm.
Declaration is both, declaration is same.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
when you fire the query will get changed.
Okay.
And system will automatically understand that we are fetching single record. So we are expecting an output into a single record, single variable. When we are
Mm-hmm.
fetching multiple fields, it means we are expecting the data into multiple fields. That is structure. Now,
Okay.
the only difference would be, instead of selecting one field, I'll put star here,
Mm-hmm.
select single star.
So all
In
fields from the table.
all fields of that column of the table into WA PA0001
Work area. Okay.
work area.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's say I want to fetch all the data of the PA0001, irrespective of any column, all the fields and all the data. So
Okay.
I'll declare IT underscore PA0001 type table of PA. Now declaration itself will change. Type table of. So I'm declaring itself, initially I'm declaring that my internal IT means internal table, WA means work area, LV means local variable. Okay. So IT PA0001 would be the table type of PA0001. So I'm expecting that my declaration is saying that I am declaring one variable, one internal table, which had the same table type structure of PA0001.
Okay.
Okay. Now we'll go to the query. Because I have to fetch all the records, so I am removing single here. Into table When you're fetching the data into the table, it is mandatory to write the into table.
Okay.
And I had to remove the where condition. So what would happen? Select star from PA0001 into IT PA0001. Select all the records from PA0001 into internal table IT PA0001. So irrespective of any field, anywhere condition, it would fetch all the records. Okay, that's how we used to declare into ABAP programming language. Same thing we have to design here in BRF. So in slide also they had mentioned that the consist of various elements that define the structures, attributes, relationship of the data used by the rules. And once why we are declaring these runtime variables? Because of the combinational of your input and output and the calculation that we are about to develop into the application, the logic we are about to develop. So these will be helped into the combination of your logic and your input and output would be the end result. Okay. Data, existing data objects are there, data elements, attributes, characteristics, that is we also discussed. Yes, value helps. Value help means search help. Okay. Just either we can refer the standard search help or we can create our custom search help also. Okay. Okay. Relationship between the data object. Yes, there is a relationship between the data objects. There is a relationship between ename and lv name, because we had fired this ename into this query to get the data into lv ename. So there always a relationship between your runtime variables and your standard variables. Your standard data structures, your standard variables, or the local variables. Okay. Expressions. Yes, we'll discuss what is expressions. Let's see. If they are given us an example like customer ID. So customer has its name, age, and address. As we treat this as a employee master, employee had its name, age, or address, right? But this is a master data, employee master data. But when it comes to the processing, the transactional level, the timesheet would be the transactional data of that particular employee. The payroll would be the transactional data of that employee. So how these are, both data is linked. The common place is your employee number, correct? Employee number is the common factor into this place. And if I talked about the say SD module, so customer name, age, and address, customer unique ID. When we create the sales order, the customer would be the mandatory field. Order date, total amount, all these aspects, all these variables are interlinked with the common value, which is the customer ID. Same goes for the employee personal. And if I talking about the material management, the vendor ID would become the common place here. Vendor name, age, address, and PO number, PO date, and PO amount. That would become the purchase order details. So vendor will become the most important part. Now let's see into the system. Okay. I just marked this as a bookmark. What would be the ID? ZR ABAP 1. Yes.
Okay.
So yesterday we had created one demo application. Now, how to create our data models? Right click, let's say. Right click, create data object.
Okay.
Let's say there are 4 options are available. Either elements, let me call it elements. They are referring variables.
Variables. Okay.
Yes. Only the difference of nomenclature.
Okay.
Structure, table, text, internal table.
Okay.
So let's say if I'm creating one element means I'm creating one LV name, correct? LV name I had referred here. So I'm declaring one LV name type ename. Now, how to declare the one local variable? Let's select element. So I provide some name LV underscore ename and text employee name. The properties, what kind of data it will accept, the data types. Now it's come to the data types. Binding to DDI, if you are aware that what could be the length of your properties, what could be the data type, then you are aware that my data type would be PERS now personal number. So you can easily provide that here, and you can directly choose the amount, whether it would be data type, quantity, number, or use a text, or it's a timestamp, or it's a boolean. We can select from here. We can change, provide that the length of my variable, and we can start working on that. If you are not aware about that what could be the data type for my this element, so they had provided the feasibility binding to DDIC element data dictionary. That is our SC11, right? SC11 is our standard table structures.
Right.
So right now I'm not aware. Let's say I'm creating LV name and I have no idea what could be the data type for this. So just I am typing PERNR. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
So what would be the technical? No, not the personal ename for ename. For ename, EM, NAM. If I go into that, the same EM, NAM. So what happens? It will automatically inherit the properties from your DDI SC11 transaction.
Okay.
The standard sector is text 40, correct? Type, my data type for this EM and NAM employee name field is character 40.
Okay.
So automatically, can you see that the element type had been changed to text and length had been changed to 40.
Yes.
And your DDIC description is employee slash app dot name. Automatically they had adopted.
Okay. Okay.
So what would be the best? It will automatically, it will adopt.
So you have
Now,
to know the technical name of the field. Okay.
yes. If you are not aware, let's say you are not aware about the backend technical fields name, then you can choose no binding. Now you can create your own. Let's say 50, and I'll provide my value as a text. So it will adopt the custom binding that you are provided here.
Okay. Okay.
But it's okay that you are not aware the technical names of the backend data types. It's okay. But in reality, you know that this field will accept the amount value or the text value. Correct?
Yeah.
You know that this field will accept the numbers or some string or some quantity or some Boolean value or some timestamp.
Okay.
As per your Excel data, you can easily correlate that, but this field will accept the amount. Okay, I'll select the amount and I'll change my how much length would maximum length would be the sufficient value. Then you can provide the maximum length value of here. But as of now, I'm using the standard ones. Value help.
Okay.
This value help is something different. Settings for OData service that provide. Okay. Actually, in last 6 to 7 years, loads of features had been changed. No problem. I will discuss this value help later on.
Okay.
So if I say create and navigate to object. Now this had been created.
Okay.
Save and activate. This is the mandatory part if you are working on any technical object in SAP.
Okay.
Check, save and activate every time. Let's say domain help values. If you want to define some predefined name, because we have done employee name. If you want to define some as, let's say, predefined values here, then we can add value create also. But why it's not allowing to add some value? Am I not working in export mode? Export mode is on. Why it's not allowing? The reason is because we have defined the element type text. That's why it's not allowing to maintain me domain values, the search help values, because it could be the combination of n means n number of permutation and combinations when it's come to the text level. Correct?
Yes.
Why I'm saying that in all over world, if I say 8 point some billion people are there, so it's not possible to maintain 8 billion people into my domain value. But if I say maintain number of banks in India, so you can easily count the number of banks. Only 15 banks are there. So you can, these are fixed values. So domain values are the fixed values that you can maintain here, but not the indefinite value. That's why it's not allowing. So we had created one of the LVE name. Now, if I see here data object, one element is LVE name. I'll right click on this, create one more data object, mass creation. Instead of going one by one, if you want to create multiple elements at the same time, then we can go with the mass creation.
Okay.
So it will behave as a tabular format. So let's say I'll just expand my first column. Built-in type, DDIC, same, everything is same. Built-in type, DDIC element or reference to element.
Okay.
What I am want to select, I can select here. I can provide my name. I can change the length and press OK. So multiple elements will get created at the same time.
Okay.
But let's go to structure. How to create a structure?
Okay.
Let's say WA underscore PA 0001. PA 0001 structure. Now again, binding to structure type DDIC.
Existing.
DDIC is existing structure.
Okay.
Let's see what all options are available we have. If I say PA 0001, let's see. PA 0001 is there. Perfect. Create and navigate to object. Create, only if you click on directly, only on create, then it will create the object. If you create, so choose the second option, create and navigate. So it will land you to the direct to the object. So you can check the immediately with you check. Now what is saying? Domain values may not be unique. Okay. So how many fields I am expecting? Pernah, subtype.
Okay.
Okay. What would be a select query? Okay, we are fetching all the records. So select all. So this is, if you put cursor here, that 12 messages are available. Got it. If your message is yellow highlighted, it means it is showing a warning. If it's red, hard red, then it is showing you the hard error. You cannot go ahead. Okay. Save.
Okay.
Close.
What does it mean that domain values are not unique?
We need to check the domain value exactly. Let me go here.
Okay.
Check. Click on the technical details. So object name PREAS. What is PR? Let's go back to SC11. PREAS. Reason for change. If I go here, reason for changing master data. Okay. Check table is maintained onto this field. Reason for change. This is a T53 is the configuration table. Change in department, qualification, renewal, rollover. Why it's saying domain values may not be unique because T53 table is associated with that this PREAS. That's why.
Okay.
It could be the chance why it's saying that. If you see the first column 001, 001 and 001, the info type, this is the first primary key. It's blue highlighted. This one is the primary key for this table, and it has its multiple values. That's why it's highlighting that the T53 table is not trustworthy for utilizing into this application.
Okay.
So what we can do, we can remove those fields. It's okay if you don't remove the fields. The object is already activated now. Yes. Although those were just only warnings. Now if you go to the data object, initially element was there, one element was there. Now yes, because why it's showing multiple elements?
One. No, first you go 3. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. So if you see there, multiple elements are there. So why multiple elements are there? One element is created by you, LVE name.
Okay, yeah,
Correct.
that is right.
But why rest of elements automatically will come into this under the same tab? Because we had created the structure and we had adopted all the elements of the PA0001. So all elements will automatically come into the tab, element tab. But only
So
structure.
all variables under this table.
Yes.
Or fields under this table.
Yes, where all the elements or fields will come into the this element.
Got it.
And the structure, the separate tab, separate expansion is there. The structure is available. This one.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Got it. If I create the third one, data object, table type. Again, IT underscore PA 0001 PA0001 table type. Binding to table type PA0001 sorry 0001 define data binding no create structure from DB table. We will refer DB table direct. ITPA01 table line type PA0001. ITPA01 type table of PA01. Correct? So we have declared internal table of table type PA01. Go to the create and navigate to object. Check. Warnings. Save. Activate.
So if it is a hard error, then it will not.
It will not
save,
allow.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
it will.
okay.
No. It will save, but it will not allow you to activate.
Okay, got it.
So it will not ask you with the confirmation. The pop-up will itself will not come.
Okay.
Yeah. Now again, if we go to the table, if we expand this, last change and use cases history. Now let's see. My table type is also ready. ITP01. So yesterday, what we have done, we had created one expression, the DB lookup. Fetch data. Correct. So yes. And when I was simulating this, it was showing some error. Correct. The error was no result data object set. Means output is not provided. In which field we are getting the output, in which field we are expecting the output. Now let's say select single entry. Now I'm writing this query. Select single entry. Okay.
Okay.
Select single entry from PA0001 HR record with condition. I'm not giving any condition. Into I'll select my work area. Correct. Select single
Yes.
value from PA00 into my work area. Here I have provided the condition 0001, but here I am not providing any condition.
Okay.
Now let's see what all data exists into PA0001. So we will fetch the data only for that particular employee. Oh, employee record is not there. Oh, okay. And this is info type. I can't make direct entries.
Okay, you can go to PA30.
But all the configuration needs to be the number series and all, right?
Okay. So where did you
Uh,
give the employee number? No,
Okay,
I mean,
let's change that table type. Let's see what all other tables we do
no,
have.
if you go back to the BRF, so the tool, so you're saying which is not existing,
Correct.
which is not there? I didn't get it.
The data.
The data should be there, right?
No, it's a training system, right? It's not mandatory that employee
Okay, I
master is
see.
mandatory.
So completely the day, okay, it's blank, okay.
Yes. Zero entries.
Oh, okay.
So let me try sales order data. VBAK.
Okay.
Sales document header data is available. So no problem.
Okay.
I'll do
Yeah.
one thing. I'll go to my structure. I'll create one more. Create data object structure. WA underscore VBAK. Binding. VBAK is our SAP standard sales order header table data. Sales order header data will, all the header details will get stored into VBAK. And line item would be VBAP. Create and navigate to object. We have to live with this. There's no other option. Okay. Otherwise, it is a ABAP program or some ABAP internal object. It will check and activate within a seconds. But it's a GUI based, then, and not Fiori, not GUI. You can say that. So it's not a complete deliverable package. Fetch data has been changed. Yes. So my VBAK sales order data VW and SBV check, save. Information is there. Okay, no problem. I'll activate. Yes. So if I go here, the list has been expanded. Correct. Great. Now I'll change my select query. So instead of PA0001, I'll select VBAK and select single entry from VBAK into WA underscore VBAK. Now, if I see, let's fetch the data for particular sales order number 10. insert include condition. The first include condition, I am referring my key parameter, which is VBLN. So I'm providing my where condition. VBLN is equal to 10. Save, activate. So I'm expecting that I will get the only one data because it's a structure, but one data for the only for the 10 number sales order.
Okay.
Yes, confirmation active. Start simulation. Start simulation means execution. No context is available. Okay. Similar execution has been started. There is a difference between execute and display processing steps. I'll explain. Yes, there are two steps. Okay. Now you can correlate that VBLN 10 number is 10, ERDAT 10th of June 2022, time 11:40, created by P. Tendulkar. Okay, P. Tendulkar. So all the data.
Here, suppose if you have like 10 entries, does it give in the same format?
Yes.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes. And if we are going for the, let's go to the table output.
Okay.
Let's see multiple entries. Yes. Now the difference is if I click on execute, it will directly go for the output.
Okay.
And if I click on display processing steps, let's see what happens. So if you remember that I had mentioned earlier, the debugging point. When we work with multiple rules, currently we don't have any rules, so we haven't implemented anything. We are just write a select query, so it didn't provide any steps. But when we start implementing the rules, functions, our declaration variables, main application, so it will provide you the layman English steps. This is the first step, second step, third step, fourth step, that how many steps we had executed. Now go back to the workbench. Now let's say I'll create one more table type. Create object table. I'll create one more internal table. IT_VBAK. I want to see the all the data from the VBAK table.
Okay.
All entries. Create. Okay. Create and navigate to object. Activate. Yes. So initially what I had choose into the BRF, select single entry, correct? Now let's go to the DB lookup fetch data. Instead of select single entry, now I am expecting all the entries from the VBAK.
Okay.
I'm not providing any condition into, but all the entries cannot be accommodated into the work structure. All the entries would get accommodated into the table. So I had changed the IT VBAK, activate. Yes. because structure will accept only one value.
Right.
An internal table will accept n number of entries. Actually, not n number of entries. Yes, there's a myth in SAP around all the technical team members. Internal table can accept n number of entries. That is not true. 1.02 MB.
Okay.
Only if 5,000 records would suffice your memory till up to 1.02 MB, then only 5,000 will allow. The more you increase the columns, the more you increase the column vertically and horizontally, it will consume more memory.
Okay.
The lesser the columns, lesser the rows, it will consume less memory. But this is the maximum limit that rarely any consultant knows about that. Even nowhere they had mentioned this part, because when it comes to the huge level of processing, I had personally seen that with the maximum record of somewhere 15 million, 15, 17 million, the table will start dumping.
Okay.
They will stop its processing itself.
Is it like only in the foreground or in the back end also?
Back end also. Yes. Oh, I am talking about 15 million sales order data.
Right. Got it.
So that the 15 million records is itself such a huge number, but still there is a limitation SAP had decided. So what we have done, we have created two internal tables. We had divided the data into two parts.
Okay.
So K DB lookup, select all entries from VBAK into my ILT VBAK. No where condition, activate, start simulation. Continue, execute. Now let's see what happens.
Okay. So the end user also can build these kind of queries, right?
Yes, they can build their queries, but not like the technical and the functional person. Other because of the lack of knowledge of the programming world.
Right. But they can use standard SAP
the basic, yes, the basic applications they can design. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like
but if
creating a variable structure, pulling up.
Correct. So if you see this, all the fields have been extracted. The particular, when I had executed the work area, the irregular pattern had been generated, right?
Right.
Now it's a particular, because it's a tabular format. So they had shown us all the fields in a particular design format.
Okay.
Now go to workbench. So what we had covered today, the data model part, how to design our elements, variables, structures, and internal table, how we can access those in our one of the expression. One expression we had completed, that is the select query, fetching the data from the database. Now we are successfully declare our data types, the structure and internal table. We have successfully fetched the data. This is the second part we have done. Now what would be the concept as per the application concept? Data, declaration, inputs, fetch data, perform logic, and get output. This is the typical steps that all the programming objects used to follow. Data declaration, input from the user, fetch data from the database, perform some logic, and perform and get the output. This is a simple thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Now what we have achieved so far, we had achieved the input, data declaration and fetching the data. Tomorrow we will insert one more steps. Let's say user is providing inputs. Based on user inputs, we will fetch the data.
Okay.
So 3 steps would be completed: data declaration, the user inputs, and fetching the data. User inputs we cannot implement directly till the time we'll start developing our function. Right now, if you see anywhere we had defined the function? No. Our application development is not yet started. If we define this, ZDemo BRF is a complete package of your object.
Right.
But once we start the function development, the rules and entries, then it will start the actual application development. Till then, it's just the collection. It's demo_BRF is just a collection of different type of objects, like data object expressions. It's not a package application. It's a package of objects. So for starting the inputs, we have to start working on the creation of function. Then it will work as a complete package, or you can say that the complete application.
Okay.
So on that note, it's all for the day. We have discussed variables, structures, internal table, the normal SQL queries which we generally used in ABAP side. We have discussed the limitation of internal table. We have discussed the application steps, and the last point, how to create our data objects or data models, variables in structure and internal table into BRF plus application. Okay, then we'll connect tomorrow same time with the new topic, inputs. Actually, in this session they haven't provided inputs. Somewhere they had mentioned, like, yes, defining rule set inputs and outputs. Yes, the topic is already available. Yes, no problem. We'll go with that part.
Okay.
Yes.
So this BRF plus, it pulls only, if you're like working for a service company, like a payroll service company. So if you have access to the BRF, it provides only your client information, right? Like when you're pulling the tables, it's gonna pull only for the, it's client dependent tables, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you are expecting the other data source also?
Yeah. Does it pull other data source, or it pulls only your?
No.
Yeah.
Data definition. See, there are two things. Playing with the data, that is data definition. What kind of data elements that you want to perform? Now the source, if you want to change the source of your data, we do have different type of expressions.
Okay.
We can change our source of expression, source of the data. Now how we can change that? There's a different thing that let's say I want to call some data from another database. Simultaneously, two databases. Our company had been working on two databases, ECC database and HANA database. Currently, we are working on HANA because BRF Plus we are developing, and for some requirement, I need to fetch data from ECC database also, my
Okay.
traditional database. So what
Okay.
I'll do, I'll call my function call. I'll create my function call. There's an option function. I create my function module in SAP ABAP. In SAP ABAP, I'll call my traditional database with the helps of input and output. I'll fetch the data. That function module I will call into my BRF application. So indirectly, BRF will call the function module. Function module will call your traditional database, and then we will get the data from the third party.
Okay. When you say third party, it means like any other customer database?
Yes, any other customer database.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because HANA had given us flexibility that we can read data from another databases also. Not like ECC. In ECC, that was not possible. But in HANA, with the help of certain programming syntaxes, we can achieve that. Developer can achieve that functionality.
So when you log into SAP, is there a way I can check this uses ECC database and this is HANA database?
Yes. So the thing is, there is a tool, there is not a tool, the functionality is ADBC, ABAP Database Connectivity. Okay. In HANA, along with HANA, they had introduced this feature. So we have to create a couple of classes, 2-3 classes. And there we will provide the authorized credentials from the basis team to access the particular directly to the database.
Okay.
With the proper IP address and proper details, the credentials, ID, password, and the particular structure name also. Then the database code connectivity will happen, and it will start reading data directly from that particular database.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. And yes, all done for the day. Rest of the topic will start. Once you start the development of the application, you will get more clear picture. Okay, how my inputs have been floating into this application, how my variables, how my values are getting manipulated, and how I am getting the exact output. So currently is just a collection of objects. So once you get the familiar to the application, then you will get the actual clarity.
Okay. So this training system is not going to have any HCM data?
I'm not sure, because this is the first time I'm interacting with this system. Earlier, the system was the another one. Their employees data was available. Couple of entries were available, around 700, 800 entries. But this one is the first time I'm using. Might be they have done some refresh activity or something like that. It could be the loss of data also from their server side team.
Okay. Yeah, it will be helpful if you have HCM data.
Yes, correct. Otherwise, you have to do configuration and you have to set
check with them if they can give any other system.
Yes, I'll check with them. Or we'll do one thing. We'll in PA0001, I had another system also. Okay. From another sources. So I'll do one thing. I'll copy paste some entries from there into this system directly in PA0001.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and by editing the table into SC16N, I'll try to make the entries. Otherwise, I'll ask to Aditi as well.
Okay, sure.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much. We'll connect again. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.